Back with my boy James. We're getting some Trappist Beers. What are Trappist Beers?
So Trappist Beers are essentially made at specific monasteries that are basically, whenever they make beers, they make cheeses, meats, other products that they sell for proceeds that go towards feeding homeless people, stuff like that. So it's all essentially for charity, so it's for a really great cause.
Is it made by friars?
It's like monks of the abbey, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, different titles. But Trappist beers typically usually come from like Belgium and France, and we actually do have a United States one from, it's in Spencer, Massachusetts, which they do carry here, so they have a couple different styles. One's actually a stout, so usually you end up with like the Belgian style blonde ales, abbey ales, triples, quads, and doubles, which they have actually all of the above. And it's cool because this place that we're at, St. Raphael's, if you get a beer from a specific brewery, you get a punch on a card, and after you get, I think it's, I want to say it's 12, you get a cool glass that has their logo on it. It's like a little friar kind of mascot. So I came the other day and got 4, and I don't know if I'm picking up any today because I haven't drank them yet, and I don't want to stock up too much. So.
Yeah. Sweet, dude. Let's go get it.
All right.
What up? It's your boy Adam Robb, back again with another Thirsty Thursdays. So today I have something kind of crazy. As you saw in the intro, my boy James, who was on that podcast last week, he took me to, it's like a Catholic store. It's called St. Raphael Boutique Beers. And so this place connects with, they're called Trappist Beers. Trappist. It's basically this collection of old monasteries, and they're all over the world, and basically these are like monks, so they make meat, cheese, bread, all sorts of stuff, but then they are really good at Trappist beers. They have a special, unique way of making them. Some of these monasteries have been doing it for hundreds of years, like 400 years, and so when you start doing something that long, it gets better over time. You perfect that technique. It's kind of a cool story behind it, so I'm gonna try one of them. I bought 3, but this is a Quadruple Trappist Ale, and this one was brewed by the monks of Koningshoven Abbey in the Netherlands, which is kind of cool, so I'm excited to try this thing. Alright, so let's get it rolling. Alright, let's crack this bad boy open. I did a really bad job pouring this thing. Right away that smells really good. Alright, so I'm going to read off of this card a little bit about the Trappist Beers. It says, the Trappists, originally named the Order of Reformed Cistercians, I don't know, of Our Lady of La Trappe, are a Catholic religious order of cloistered monastics. They follow the rule of St. Benedict and have communities of both monks and nuns that are known as Trappists and Trappistines. They are named after La Trappe Abbey, the monastery from which the religious order originated. Trappists take vows of stability, fidelity, and obedience. St. Benedict's precept to minimize conversation means that Trappists speak only when necessary. Thus, idle talk is strongly discouraged. However, contrary to popular belief, they do not take a vow of silence. Meals are usually taken in contemplative silence as they listen to a spiritual reading. They abstain from meat and generally live as vegetarians. The rule of St. Benedict states monks should live by the work of their hands. Following this rule, most Trappist monasteries produce goods that are sold to provide income for the monastery. These range from cheeses, bread, and other foods, but they are most famous for Trappist beers, which are lauded for their high quality and flavor. Trappist beers contain residual sugars and living yeast, and unlike conventional beers, will improve with age. So this one is called La Trappe Quadruple Trappist Ale. So let's check it out. Let's give it a little. Man, that is, whew. The smell kind of like punches you in the face a little bit. It's got like a really sweet taste to it. This is like 10%, I think. Dang, son, we're going on a journey. Let's I'm gonna try it and let's see what we taste. Whew. Whoa. When they say flavor, they're not joking. It kind of tastes like apricot. It's very fruity, that's for sure. Yeah, it's got like I'd say nectar. That's the word I'm getting. Like guava, apricot kind of vibes to it. I don't know. And look at the color on that. Look at the color. Ain't that beautiful? 2 thumbs up for the monks. I actually have a story about monks. Me and some friends were going on a trip. I had been going back and forth to California for a few years. I worked with the homeless on Skid Row, and I'll maybe get into that in another video. But we went there for a couple week trip when I was still living here in Ohio. This was maybe like 2012, 2013. We were at a place called Farmer Boys, which has like the most amazing burger, probably top 5 burger if it's still up and running. They have it's like guacamole, bacon. I think it's like 3 hamburger patties, special sauce, dude. It's, oh man, delicious. Anyways, we were there and we saw these guys dressed like monks. Like they had like the rope around their waist, and we ran into them at this restaurant and we went up and talked to them. It turns out that they ran a monastery in Compton. So you know what I'm talking about. Compton, like Dr. Dre, NWA, like Compton. It was, and they invited us to come check it out, and it was really cool. Like they had this really nice monastery. They had classes there. On the weekends they did like, I think it was like 15 services in like different languages. The whole time we were going around and we were like, monk life. It's kind of stupid, but you know, monk life. First news of the day is Phoebe Bridgers just released her new album Punisher today, a day early. Thank you, Phoebe Bridgers. That is amazing. She's been putting out a couple tracks here and there from this new album. I've been loving what I'm hearing. I've been a big Phoebe Bridgers fan. Thanks to my boy Ethan Amory. Got you in another video. One day I'm going to have you on Thirsty Thursday, bro. It's just a matter of time. Phoebe Bridgers is 1/3 of the band Boy Genius. She's one half of the band Better Oblivion Community Center, where we got to see them up in Cleveland, and it was a great show. Amazing. Anyway, she put it out on her Twitter today. She said, "I'm not pushing the record until things go back to normal, because I don't think they should. Here it is a little early. Abolish the police. Hope you like it." She kind of snuck that in there. But she has talked about this album in a different direction. Her last one, Stranger in the Alps, was kind of going over this relationship that she had with a certain, famous singer. And kind of the emotions of the breakup and all that stuff. And it's a very melancholy kind of album. It's one of those albums I put on when it's like kind of moody and gray outside and I want to feel like a little bit of sadness. One of those kind of albums. And so it was really cool that she put it out today. I listened to it a couple times all the way through. Some amazing songs on there. I've always loved Garden Song, and I See You was like amazing. But a couple other notable ones. Moon Song is really cool. It's got this really ethereal kind of feel to it. Another good one is the Savior Complex. And then the ending track, it's called I Know the End. Kind of devolves into this, like, Ethan actually described it as like the soundtrack to a James Bond film. And it was so epic, and it kind of reminded me of the song Road to Joy by Bright Eyes. And I have a feeling that Conor Oberst had some hand at a lot of these songs. He even makes a little vocal appearance earlier in the album, but it kind of like had that same like trumpet cascading down, and it was just, oh man, it was pretty cool. So if you're a big indie music, folk kind of music fan, check out Phoebe Bridgers. Her new album Punisher is pretty dope, and there's some awesome music videos as well. She's killing the game. Phoebe Bridgers, check her out. And we also have Sean Evans from Hot Ones giving us the lineup for season 12 of Hot Ones. It's gonna be a good one. I'm excited. Like, he's still doing the quarantine over video, but he said once that they get the okay to go back to the studio, they're gonna be in the studio from then on. So I'm excited to see who the guests are. The hot sauces are on point. I'm a big hot sauce fan. My wife hates it. She thinks that I ruin every meal that I eat because of the hot sauce. I mean, come on. I have like a ton of hot sauce, so I gotta use it. It goes with everything. And my favorite of all time is sriracha. I put that crap on everything. I don't know. I found very few things that it's not good with. I'm excited for a new season of Hot Ones. Excited to see who he gets on there. And you know who I want to see on an episode of Hot Ones? Bill Murray. If we could get Bill Murray on an episode of Hot Ones, can you just imagine how amazing that would be? I mean, alright. Podcast of the week. The first one I want to talk about is Behind the Bastards with Robert Evans. A lot of Evans in this episode. Actually, only 2. It's not that big a deal. Anyways, Robert Evans. I already talked about the worst year ever. He is on that podcast, but he also runs a few other podcasts through iHeartRadio, and one of them is called Behind the Bastards. It's not about Game of Thrones. That's what I originally thought, because, you know, I mean, come on, Behind the Bastards. Anyways, so he kind of talks about, you know, bastards in history, like people that were bad people. It's a great podcast. He has a really cool behind-the-scenes situation. And Robert Evans is just a very well-versed guy when it comes to, like, everything kind of political. And it kind of helps me figure out, like, what's going on behind certain events in history. He also recently has been talking about, with everything going on, him and a rapper, Propaganda, who I actually met. He's a cool guy. I love that dude. But he was part of a label called Humble Beast. They're big in like the Christian hip hop world. But Propaganda is an awesome guy. He's been talking about the struggles that black people have in America for years and years. Him and Robert Evans are going to team up and do something called Behind the Police, where they talk about the history of how the police is set up, what maybe needs to change about how they train, the culture that the police have, and various other things that go into our legal system. And kind of they're going to be talking about that, so I'm excited to hear the first episode. I think they just released it this morning, so I haven't had a chance to listen to it. But if you get a chance, go check that out. Also, Disgraceland. It's such a good podcast. It's one of those podcasts that really draw you in, and they talk, it's kind of a play off of Elvis Presley's Graceland, but it's Disgraceland. Kind of goes in deep with like famous people and some of their struggles, like he does Kurt Cobain. He's also done Prince, Ozzy Osbourne, Jay-Z, A$AP Rocky, XXXTentacion, and like Amy Winehouse. And it's very dramatic episodes. Everything is like really good music. Everything's kind of like moody, and he talks about like he gets real into nitty gritty of what it's like to be in one of these famous people's shoes. So it's with Disgraceland with Jake Brennan. Awesome episodes. I've been listening to almost every single one. Check it out if you get a chance. If you've never had a Trappist beer or a beer made by like monks, I would say go for it. Find like a religious store. We just found like a Catholic, they sell like Bibles, devotionals, all sorts of stuff. But then they also have one section where it's beer and wine for the whole wall. If you get a chance, check those out. So for this week, my name's Adam Robb, and I thank you guys for coming by. I'm excited. I got some new things brewing with the YouTube world. So hold tight. I got some cool stuff. I also have a video coming out with my brother. He was in town, so we were having some fun with my Osmo action, and we taped it to a plane, like one of those big foam planes. So watch out for that one. And thank you guys. I will see you next Thursday. And I salute to you, and cheers to you, you lovely people. Woohoo! That's a good beer.